Good evening. This is the January 13th, 2022 meeting of the St. Mary's County Board of Appeals, located in the Commissioners of St. Mary's County Meeting Room in the Chesapeake Building, 41770 Baldridge Street, Leonardtown, Maryland. I am Vice Chairman Wayne Medinsky with 3 other board members. We have met our minimum requirements for quorum and will proceed. Public meetings are now open to the public. In lieu of personal attendance, citizens may just listen to the meeting on their phones but not speak to the board by calling 1-301-579-7236 and then use the access code 963443 or view the meeting remotely on channel 95 and YouTube. If any non-person citizens would like to participate by talking to the board when a public testimony, please call the following number: 301-475-4200, extension 1234. When you call this number, Ms. Sherry Young, recording secretary, will ask your name, address, phone, and email. In other words, this is a virtual sign-in sheet. Ms. Young will place you in line on hold. After I announce that I am opening the hearing to public testimony, I will open the meeting up for public testimony after all presentations and testimony by the applicants and representatives have been completed. For both in-person or call-in, you will be asked to state your name and address for the record. I will swear you in, and you will have 3 minutes to ask your questions or make comments to the board. Your comments will be recorded and heard by those of us in the Chesapeake Building, Zoom participants, channel 95, and YouTube. After the public comments portion of the meeting is over, the cases will return to the board for any closing comments, members' discussion, and decision. Now I'd like to introduce our board, starting on my left.
Ronald Payne.
Good evening, Rich Richardson.
Wayne Medinsky.
Lynn Delahaye.
Thank you. Let's see. Before we start the hearings, for the viewers at home, you will be able to see the staff and applicant presentations on channel 95 or YouTube, and these presentations are being shown. You can also see all documents that have been submitted for this case by going to Board Docs. Ms. Clements will now demonstrate how to locate and use Board Docs.
Okay. Good evening, board members. Okay. First, you would navigate to the St. Mary's County website, and that's located at stmarysmd.com. You would go to the ribbon and locate the Board Docs tab. Select that tab and it'll pull up the Board Docs. This will take a few minutes to load up, so I preloaded it tonight. We would look for tonight's meeting, and it is the Thursday night's January 13th Board of Appeals meeting, located in the center lower portion of the monitor. You select that. And in order to see all the exhibits and attachments, you would view the agenda, which is located in the bottom center, and that'll pull up tonight's agenda. To see the public hearing, you would select a public hearing that you wish to view, and that will bring up all the exhibits with their attachments. Thank you.
Okay. Now, would you like to stand and take the oath?
Yes.
Do you declare and affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony, responses, and statements you may give will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Okay, we have 4 cases tonight. We're not going to do them in the order we first stated, so First one will be the Brackett subdivision, VAAP number 21-110-003. Mr. Lawmore?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I think the board knows from the filing that we made, we filed a motion to reconsider the board's previous motion with regard to the variance that was granted at I believe, the board's last meeting. Our request is to alter some of the conditions that were in it. What we are asking for tonight, though, is to move that discussion until January 27th. There was a concern that we've discussed with the county that the agenda lists this as a public hearing, but we don't believe that your decision as to how to proceed needs to be or is appropriate to be a public hearing. To be fair to the public that may have thought it was one, we think it's better to postpone it to your next hearing. I understand you have a special hearing set for January 27th. I've checked with my clients. We're available that night to be here and answer any questions. So we'd ask that the board consider it then. You'll have the option, I believe, and I'll let your attorney or staff correct me then, to either decide our motion that night, or if you feel the need to schedule a public hearing, you could decide to reschedule that to a later date, and that would be what we'd ask you to consider at the next hearing.
In that case, if that's all we're going to do, I think it'd be better to move it to the 27th, because Mr. Ikniowski's not here, and I would like for him to be in on that decision.
I agree.
We believe that's appropriate as well. My clients, in addition to the concern about the way it's listed on the agenda, they would prefer a full board hearing as well, but certainly with Mr. Ikniowski being here as the chair, we think that would be appropriate since he sat the night of the hearing as well with you. So that would be.
You would prefer full hearing?
We would.
Well, no, I don't
Or
think.
not a full hearing, to have a
A
full
full board.
Okay.
A full board.
Full board
Okay.
present.
Okay.
I think, Mr. Chair, if I may, I think then on the 27th, the board would discuss it and decide whether they believe there should be a public hearing, or whether or not the board can simply discuss and reconsider the order or the motion that was passed at the prior public hearing.
So do we need a motion to do this, or?
I think it would be appropriate anytime we can move, act in that way, that would be good.
Is this a continuance, or what is this?
I mean, you could, we're used to treating it like a continuance, but I mean, technically, it's a rescheduling. So a motion to reschedule to January 27th.
I think that'd be.
Okay.
I would like to make a motion in the matter of VAAP number 21-110-003, Brackett subdivision, and in accordance with the rules and practice and procedures of St. Mary's County Board of Appeals, Rule number 5-105C. I move that the hearing be moved to January the 27th.
I second it.
Well, one correction, not a hearing, a reconsideration.
It would be a consideration of the motion to reconsider, yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
A reconsideration.
Okay, and we have a second.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. No,
Okay.
okay.
Thank you.
That's carries. Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. Our next case, Mr. Varro, we have to open it up. VAAP number 20-1047, 20-1048, Pinsanti Close property.
Yeah, good evening, members of the board. Paige Weiler on behalf of the Passante Close. I'm before you tonight to ask you to postpone or continue tonight's hearing and reschedule it for the next available date. On Tuesday of this week, I received a copy of a 4-page letter from the Critical Area Commission, which takes a variety of positions which I won't get into the merits of tonight, but we strongly disagree with the factual and legal positions taken. Having said that, given the nature of the opposition expressed, we thought prudence being the better part of valor, that we should prepare a detailed response for the benefit of the board as well as for the benefit of your counsel and else, so you can have some to consider or be familiar with both sides of the story prior to the full-blown hearing. And given the fact that we just got it on Tuesday, haven't had the opportunity to prepare it, and certainly the board and council have not had an opportunity to or would not have had an opportunity to consider the content prior to the hearing. So for all those reasons, we'd request that you postpone the variance hearing. I had discussed with Mr. Knight about your February 10th date. He said something about that or some other date in February, but I leave it to the board to tell me how you want to handle that, assuming that the request is granted.
So for clarification, he is requesting a continuance. You opened the hearing. He's requesting a continuance to a date certain. As long as it's a date within 60 days, it does not have to be re-advertised, reposted. So what we do not have the February 10th available. That legal ad has already been sent, and we do have a full agenda. So the next available date would be the following week, February 17th.
That would be fine with me if the board's willing to consider that request.
Is that good with everyone?
Good for me.
And Mr. Bradley and Mr. Ikniewski would have to be notified?
Oh, absolutely. And so we would need a motion and a second. Yeah.
I know. Also, we haven't received that. I would like to see it.
The critical area
Yes.
letter, well, of course you need that. It
Yes.
should have been forwarded to you. So the secretary is listening, and so she certainly knows that needs to get to you.
Okay, thank you. And can we get a motion? Yeah.
In the matter of VAAP number 20-1047 and 20-1048, to grant a continuance to February the 17th for this hearing.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. There you go.
Thank you all. Thank you for your consideration.
Okay, our next case, Hutchison King, right?
Correct.
VAAP number 21-2589, Hutchison and King. Do you want to start with the staff, or?
Okay. Did you?
Well, first, you gentlemen want to take a seat?
Well, don't sit down.
Well, we need to apprise them of the
Okay.
only four-member board. Mr. Scott, would you want to do the honors of a more legal explanation?
Sure. So our Board of Appeals is normally comprised of 5 members. We have an absentee tonight, so we're down to 4 members. The risk that applicants run when we have only 4 members is that if there is a tie on a motion made by the board, then the motion fails. So oftentimes our applicants will say, well, I think I've got a better shot at getting my motion passed or the relief I'm seeking if there's a full 5-member board. Others don't believe it's important, but we thought it important to apprise the applicants tonight of that situation. So it's really up to you. If you do want a continuance, obviously the board will grant it.
Yes, we'd like to continue.
You'd like to have it continued?
No, we'd like to have it today.
Oh, you'd like to have it?
Oh, okay. Yes.
Okay, if you raise your right hand, do you declare and affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony, responses, and statements you may give will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Have a seat.
Okay. Then I will start the staff report for you tonight.
Thank you.
Okay. January 13th. Okay. Tonight, we're here to hear VAAP 21-2589 Hutchinson King property. They would like a variance from Schedule 32.1 of the St. Mary's County Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance for a reduction of the mandatory side yard setbacks to construct additions to their existing house. The legal ad was printed in the local newspaper, Southern Maryland News, on December 24th and 31st of 2021. The applicant posted the property and sent notifications to neighbors within 200 feet on December 29th, 2021. The property is owned by Joseph Hutchinson and Curtis King. It is located at 45658 Tenny Hill Street in California, Maryland. It is a part of Phase 6 Elizabeth Hills subdivision, Lot 112. The zoning is residential, low density, and the property consists of 7,506 square feet. Currently, today, as it stands, it has an existing home on the property. They are proposing to construct an attached shed addition onto an existing attached garage and a porch and a deck onto the opposite side of the house. This project is exempt from stormwater management due to less than 5,000 square feet of disturbance. Location map, as you can see here, it is located off Indian Bridge Road in Great Mills. The zoning is residential, low density, as are the other properties surrounding it. And this is the site plan. This is the attached shed that they would like to add on. And right here is the attached porch with a deck. Okay. The area of encroachment for the garage is this area right here. The BRL, or the building restriction line, is located right here, so it would be encroaching over that setback. In addition, they've got an area of encroachment here for the covered patio, or excuse me, the covered porch. The deck is not considered an encroachment because it does not exceed 6 feet over the setback line. And the standards for granting a variance, would you like to hear those now or when we go into discussion?
You can save those till later.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, but whoever presents first, I'll need your name and address.
Curtis King, and it's 45658 Tenny Hill Street, California, Maryland, 20619.
Okay.
All right, good evening, board. As you can see by the drawing that she showed, we drew out where we wanted the shed, which would be constructed on top of an existing concrete slab that the builder had installed when we built the house. Also, you can see that our house pretty much fills our available buildable area. And our slope in our backyard from the back of the house to the end of the property is 7 to 8 feet of drop. So it would be impossible to put a shed in the back because of that slope. So we're asking that you grant the variance for the shed on the existing concrete patio, the concrete slab next to the garage. The area for the covered porch is, I believe, like 6 to 10 inches over the build line. It would just mirror the side of our house. And that's all I have.
I don't have anything.
Do you have any questions?
Yes, Mr. King, I tried to get prepared for this meeting, and I read the paperwork, and it said that the house was built last year.
Yes, so we closed on the house in April.
I was just surprised it was built last year, and now you're asking to modify it now? Did you build it or you buy it?
So we built it through Merrick. Merrick Homes built the subdivision. And when we purchased or signed the contract for the lot, we did not realize that the backyard was going to have an 8-foot slope from the back of the house to the bottom. So we have no usable backyard. So we can't even push mow the lawn. We have to weed whack it. It's so steep.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, one other question. How do you ingress and egress this attached garage/shed?
So it will, excuse me, the front of it will look like a third-car garage. We'll have a single door that mirrors the current door that we already have. And it'll be, so that'll be with a garage door opener. And then there will be a door into the, currently on our garage, there's an egress door. And that will be the access point from the garage into the shed.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's see, we had a previous chairman here.
Sorry.
Okay, go
one
ahead.
more. We also submitted it to the HOA prior to the board meeting this evening, and they have approved both the shed, the porch, and the deck. So the HOA is aware of our intentions.
I have pulled that up onto,
Yeah.
it should be on your monitors.
So there's,
okay.
excuse me.
Go ahead.
There's already a concrete platform there that you're just going to set the new shed on. Is that correct?
So
Is that like the walkway?
So our driveway is 3-car widths.
Can you go back to the
And
site plan? Yes, sir.
as you can see where it's kind of shaded pink, that right there is already an existing concrete slab that goes all the way to the street. So we would just basically
Square.
build on top of the existing concrete.
Yeah, if I may, the driveway sweeps around the garage. It's almost as if, I would describe it, that they had a parking space installed adjacent to the garage, so you drive up past the garage. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you see that, Ms. Delahaye?
Yeah, I was just thinking, though, if it, that's not impervious, so that it was already there, so why couldn't they just put the garage, the shed there anyway? Without?
Well, from a stormwater management concept, you're absolutely right. But sidewalks and driveways do not get restricted by setbacks, because if that was the case, you'd never be able to get to the street. So setbacks apply to structures, and so the hardship he was describing is that normally you would put a shed in the backyard, and in the backyard the shed would be allowed to go as close as 5 feet to the side or rear property line on the condition it was 10 feet away from the house. So here, because it's attached to the house, it becomes part of the house.
I see.
And so it's subject to the house side yard setback line.
Okay, so it doesn't have anything to do with the impervious. I got you.
Yeah, it's not you're right, this is not a pervious, impervious issue. It's a zoning setback to a structure.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, where I was headed with this is one of our previous chairmans has instilled in me the fact of emergency vehicles. And once you close off that side, you're completely restricting it. I mean, you can't get back there.
So we still have, at the end of the drive, we have 2 feet before our property line, and then there's obviously the neighbor's property, and then the whole other side of the house is still remaining open.
Yeah, I know the other side, but on this side, how far is that property line from the other house? From your neighbor?
We
I
could
can
go
pull
to
that
GIS.
I want to say,
Oh, you know what? You're not going to see it in GIS. These houses are so new.
Yeah.
They don't show up in GIS.
So I want to say it's like right around 12 to 15 feet
Right.
to our property line, and then we have the 2 feet to our concrete slab, and then the house.
I don't have any trouble at all with the porch and the deck, but I'm not in favor of the shed. I'm not in favor of closing that off, that area, because it limits the access of
But wait a
any
minute.
kind of emergency. Go ahead. It's just me, I'm just saying.
If he's got 2 feet from the shed to his property line,
Right.
and then from the property line to his neighbor's house, you've got how many feet?
Like 12 to 15?
12, 15.
But you're stopping them from doing anything because you've already done it. I'm just saying, go ahead. And we have other stuff, and we got other public testimony and all this other
All
stuff.
right. That's good.
Anything else?
There, I see what you're saying. There would be no way for anybody to get back there, but
And there are other houses behind you too, right?
right, but they're on their own street,
I know that.
and they're much, like, it is a huge hill to the bottom. We actually stand above their house. That's how bad it is.
There's absolutely no place to put a shed on our property
Yeah.
without a variance of any sort.
Well, I understand that. I just don't like I don't like this option. That's all. That's just me. Okay,
So staff presentation was made, their presentation was made, we can open it up to the public?
public testimony.
Okay. No one in the audience who, you'd have the right to speak, but,
Okay. so-
and
I can verify with Ms. Young.
Board of Appeals.
Good evening, Ms. Young. Do we have any callers for the Hutchins King variance tonight?
There are no callers at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Did you want to go over the variance now?
I can go over those, yes.
so you're not closing it to public testimony quite yet?
No.
Very good,
Yep.
okay.
Okay. Let me get my control. Here we go. Okay, the standards for granting the variances. Okay. Number one, except as provided in sections 24.3, 24.4, and 24.5, the Board of Appeals shall not vary the regulations of this ordinance unless it makes the findings based upon evidence presented to it that, 1, because of particular physical surroundings such as exceptional narrowness, shallowness, size, shape, or topographical conditions of the property involved, strict enforcement of this ordinance will result in practical difficulty. Phase 6 of the Elizabeth Hills subdivision was recorded in 2016. After the proposed lots were approved as the meeting of the minimum requirements, including the minimum lot width of 75 feet. Second, the conditions creating the difficulty are not applicable generally to other properties within the same zoning classifications. All new residential buildings within the RL zone must comply with the same minimum lot dimensions specified in Schedule 32.1 of the CZO. Number 3, the purpose of the variance is not based exclusively upon reasons of convenience, profit, or caprice. It is understood that any development necessary increases the property value, and that alone shall not constitute an exclusive finding. The applicants are requesting to construct additions to a new house that was constructed in 2021. The applicants are the first owners. The alleged difficulty has not been created by the property owner or the owner's predecessors in title. The applicants are requesting to construct additions to a new house constructed in 2021. The applicants are the original owners. The granting of the number 5, the granting of the variance will not be detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to other properties or improvements in the neighborhood, and the character of the district will not be changed by the variance. The neighboring property owners have been notified of the variance request to provide them with an opportunity to speak on the matter. Number 6, the proposed variance will not substantially increase the congestion of the public streets or increase the danger of fire or endanger the public safety or substantially diminish or impair property values within the neighborhood. The proposed addition to the property will not increase the residential use on this property. Number 7, the variance complies with as nearly as possible with the spirit, intent, and purpose of the comprehensive plan. The property has already been developed for residential use. Chapter 3, a growth management strategy of the comprehensive plan, establishes a vision for community design, which includes encouraging owners of existing structures to maintain and retrofit buildings in the grounds so they become attractive and energy efficient. And that's all the standards.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Do we need to check on public testimony again, see if anyone's called in?
I can definitely do that.
Board of Appeals.
Ms. Young, do we have any callers for the Hutchins Kings variance?
There are no callers for this case at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I guess we can close public testimony then. I still have concern with the shed. I don't know how the other board members feel about that.
Well, I think they did their homework by going to the HOA and getting approval by the HOA. I think that shows that we're trying to get it done correctly.
Well, I understand that. I just remember George, Mr. Hayden, always talking about getting fire equipment in between these houses and neighborhoods. And it's a safety issue. And it's also, if something happens to one, when you build them that close together, and it's getting I don't know what that addition is, but when you get that much closer together, if there is a problem with his house, by it being closer to the other house, I mean, the side will melt off of it. I mean, all that kind of craziness happens. But, it's just me. That's just my opinion. Mr. Payne?
I'm okay with it.
And you're okay with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's hear a motion then.
I'll do it. In the matter of VAAP number 21-2589, having made a finding that the standards for granting a variance and the objection of section 24.3 and schedule 32.1 of the St. Mary's County Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance have been met, I move to approve the variance request for the reduction on the side yard setback for the construction of a house.
I second.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Yes.
No?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, the vote's 3-1, so motion's carried.
Does that also include the back, the patio, the covered porch and deck as well?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Give 30 days.
Wait a minute.
Showing that.
Hold up.
Exit instructions.
Okay.
I don't have that. Ain't that something? Oh, here I go. An order reflecting the board's decision will be prepared by staff and signed by the board within 60 days. A 30-day period follows from that date the order is signed, during which any aggrieved party may appeal the board's decisions to circuit court. The recording secretary will mail you a copy of the order when it has been signed. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
All right. Have a good evening.
So within the 60 days, are we allowed to start the process?
Oh, no.
At your own,
Well, I mean, I'm sorry.
at your own risk.
You can't start construction because you don't have a permit yet. So the permit cannot be issued until the order is signed.
Okay.
But the order will get signed in the next 60 days, and then your permit will be finalized and you'll be contacted. And of course, you can continue to track the status of your permit online.
Okay,
Yep.
appreciate it. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. Everybody okay? Okay, our next case, VAAP number 21-2508. Poteet?
You doing?
Real good.
So, Mr. Poteet, you understood the risk of going forward with 4 members.
Yes.
Do you want to go forward? Very good. So the chairman will swear you in.
Please stand and raise your right hand. Do you declare and affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony, responses, and statements you may give will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Could your name and address, please?
Kenneth Poteet. 47. The address to the existing house, my home where I live now, where I reside now, the house that we're trying to
No,
repurchase.
where do you live at now?
6935 Pennsylvania Avenue,
Okay.
Forestville, Maryland. Apartment T1. This is all new to me. I'm a little nervous.
It's no big deal. We'll get through this. Okay.
Okay, I will start the staff presentation for you. Okay. Tonight, we're here to hear the VAAP 21-2508, the Poteet property. They're asking for a variance from Section 52.3.3E of the St. Mary County Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance to expand an existing non-conforming structure due to non-conforming front, left, right yard setbacks of more than 50% by seeking a variance from Schedule 32.1 of the CZO for a reduction of the mandatory front, left, and right yard setbacks to construct a second-story addition to an existing home. The legal ad was printed in the local paper, Southern Maryland News Online, or Southern Maryland News, on December 24th and 31st, 2021. The applicant posted the property and sent notification to neighbors within 200 feet on December 29th, 2021. The owners are Vera Lynn and Kenneth Poteet. The property is located at 47291 Thurman Davis Lane in Lexington Park. It is residential low density, and the property consists of 3,646 square feet. It currently has an existing house. The applicant is proposing a 31 by 34 second-story addition to an existing house, thus expanding a non-conforming structure. No METCOM approval is required for the addition to an existing house, but the Health Department approved it on October 28, 2021 for the continued use of the existing well. The property is located in south of Lexington Park on Thurman Davis Lane. It is residential low density, but it is also surrounded by Office Business Park, or the OBZ. Okay, the existing neighborhood conditions, the property we are looking at tonight is right here. And as you can see, it was built very close to the side yard setbacks and the front yard setback. Okay, this is the current boundary survey with the house location. And right here in blue, we have the current setbacks, and in red is the required setbacks for a property in the RL zone, the 25. Well, here, we'll explain it here. The CZO Schedule 32.1, the development standards. We were looking for a property in the RL zoning. The property is located on a minor collector, Thurman Davis Lane, so it has a required setback of 25 feet, and then the side yard setback of 10.
So before you move forward, could you back up to the detail of the house?
Yes. That one?
So if you were to draw perpendicular lines to the red arrows, I'm sorry, I did not provide a better illustration, you would wind up with a basically a triangular building envelope. But this is an old grandfathered lot, and the house was built long before these current zoning setbacks. But that's what this is trying to convey. Thank you.
Thank you for clarifying that. Okay, the CZO use and regulations for Chapter 51, -2, or .2.4. C, a detached accessory structure shall be located no closer than 10 feet from any other accessory or principal structure. CZO nonconforming structure regulations. Okay, this is Chapter 52.3.3. A nonconforming use or structure may be expanded or enlarged, subject to the following conditions. And those conditions are laid out. We are focusing on E, in the event of the proposed expansion or enlargement that exceeds 25% of existing structure, or the enlargement or expansion must be approved by the Board of Appeals, which is why we're here tonight. However, the total amount of expansion or enlargement allowed for any nonconforming use shall not exceed 50%.
But that's use, and
That's
this is a
use. This is-
structure. So that sentence doesn't apply.
Apply.
Could you back up a slide? I'm
Yes.
sorry. The detached accessory structure is being highlighted here because currently the shed is less than 10 feet from the house. So not only does the house have non-conforming setbacks to the front and right, but it has a non-conforming setback to the shed. All right.
Okay.
So I think if we go over this paragraph again. So the first thing we always have to do when people want to propose an addition to an existing non-conforming structure is determine if the director can approve it. But as it says, in the event the area of the proposed expansion or enlargement exceeds 25% of the existing structure, it must be approved by the Board of Appeals. That's why we're here tonight. The rest of this then applies to a use. The use is completely conforming because it's a house in a residential zone on a residential lot.
Okay.
But actually, it's going to exceed more than 50%?
But that only applies to expansions of uses. So that sentence reads, the total amount of an expansion or enlargement allowed for any non-conforming use.
It doesn't.
This is a conforming use. It's a non-conforming structure. The unfortunate thing about this paragraph is it has uses and structures tangled up in the same paragraph.
Okay, I understand now because I did have a question about that.
Yep.
Okay.
We intend to fix that. When we rewrite the ordinance, we will separate that into two paragraphs.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, so the standards we'll be using are the conditional uses standards as laid out. Okay, would you like me to read these now or wait till after public discussion?
After their presentation, they've brought a nice presentation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear the presentation then.
Okay.
Good.
Give me a moment to pull it up.
She's going to show that?
Yep,
Okay.
there we go.
And then you you make any statements you like.
Okay, it's up and it's ready.
Okay?
Well, with this home, we bought this home because we need somewhere else to live. I'm a little nervous with this.
And just take your time, relax.
Yeah,
And
speak
get a
in
little closer
microphone.
Full house.
Get a little closer to the microphone, please. That's all.
Well, the structural part, we're going to put dirt in the bottom of the front foundation. We're going to put concrete there. We're going to put two by six walls around it and take it upstairs on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then we put the roof on it and everything else we need to do, the framing on the inside and the electrical, the plumbing, all the good stuff that needs to come with it. I'm not good with this.
Okay, so were you describing that you're going to build exterior walls,
But the walls are already exterior concrete foundation.
right?
On the inside of the house, we're going to put 2 by 6 walls around the perimeter.
2x6 framing on the inside of
Inside the
the
wall.
existing masonry walls.
On the concrete floor,
Very good.
so we can take it up.
To provide the structural support necessary to hold the second floor.
Correct.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Mr. Knight, would you explain that again? You're going to change the structure, you're going to structure on the inside of the existing structure?
Correct. So it's an existing cinder block structure. And you want to
What would you like?
maybe go to the picture that shows the sign?
Okay. Just a moment.
So frame up the inside of the existing exterior walls with 2x6 framing to provide the structural support for the second floor above. So they'll take the roof off
Yeah.
and then build the second floor on top of those new 2x6 walls.
Okay, you answered my question because I was concerned that the house was built quite a while ago, and I was going to ask what the square footage was and how you're going to put it on top of an old house. My house is older, by the way, but you answered my question, so you had an architect do that?
Yes.
Good on you.
Some good friends of mine is architects, and they show me how to do it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how well you can see the house in that picture.
I can do, there we go. I can enlarge it for you if you'd like.
I think we're just going to ask a few questions
Okay.
for a while and try to get this gentleman to relax a little bit. Now, it looks like to me the trees are going to have to come down.
Yes, the trees are coming down around the house.
Yeah.
Now,
Four trees are there that's going to come down.
is that any concern as far as mitigation or?
No, none whatsoever. This is in the development district. It's not critical area, and it's not even considered forest.
Okay. You got that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could consider this,
It's not in the forest.
almost downtown Lexington Park. I mean, it's more like on, south end of Lexington Park.
Yes.
Do you intend to live in it?
Yes.
You do? How long have you owned the property?
I just bought the property maybe 6 months ago. Somewhere around there.
You go to
August
his second
18th.
slide,
Okay.
because it describes the,
Are you going to leave the shed there that's already there?
Yes, that shit coming down.
It's coming down?
Yeah, the small shed that you see in the back of it.
Yeah.
That's trash. It's
So
nothing.
that's trash, you said?
Yeah, it's coming down.
so that'll resolve that
That's what I
non-conforming
was thinking,
setback. Excellent.
What's the square footage of the existing house?
1,000, something like 1,000.
1,000?
Yes.
1,056.
Okay, and you're going to lose some of that with a new foundation.
Say it again.
So you're going to lose part of that with a new foundation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Thank you.
So on the screen now is his description of the first floor renovation.
Yes.
Plumbing, framing, walls, electric, kitchen, bathroom, dining area. So basically, a complete interior renovation of the first floor.
And bedrooms upstairs. You said you had your own septic system, correct? You're going to use public water?
We got well water there.
Yeah, well, or it's the opposite. It has an existing well and an existing connection to the public sewer.
Okay. Oh, to the public, okay.
Now, my only other thing, I don't know where to look at it, probably on the
Go to
plan.
the second.
I can go to the second floor.
Where are you going to stage everything? How you getting all your material and, where are you going to do that at?
Where I'm gonna pick up all the material?
Well, no, not where you're getting it from, but
At the construction site.
at the house, where are you going to put all that stuff at?
Or we gonna probably do it phase at a time? To build something, get something done, get the construction part, get the foundation done first, build the walls. Do a little at a time because we don't have the space to put all that stuff everywhere. So do it in phases.
Is it a level lot? Is it a level lot?
I would expect so, right, a flat lot level?
Yeah, it's pretty level, yeah. In front of the house, there's space in front of the house as well. Trees all, these come down.
Well, let's see if everybody else has any
Yes.
questions.
No, sir.
Anything, Mr. Payne?
I was just wondering about this thing I've got looking at, surveyor's certificate from Victor Buckler. Shows right next to it a gravel parking lot. Is that still there, or?
The survey now, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
It shows a gravel parking lot.
A gravel parking lot, that's the property next door.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Go to the,
I don't own that
conditions.
piece of property.
Okay.
Only got 3 feet, I think 3 or 4, 5 feet from the edge of my house, and the rest of it belongs to the neighbor next door.
Yeah, Mr. Payne, she's got the existing conditions there for you, so,
That's where the gravel parking lot is.
which is, you could really describe as the driveway to the neighbor next door. I mean, he labeled it parking lot, which gives it almost a commercial flavor, but it's residential.
And on the other side, he has Next Family, VMAX International LLC. Does that make sense to anyone?
It's not unusual in this day and age that homes are purchased by corporations and the like. It's a national trend now. People are investing in homes as a source of collecting a portfolio of assets, and then other people have to rent them. I mean, some people are calling it a housing, contributing to the housing crisis. Because normal homeowners who would like to be a first-time home buyer and the like are having to compete against these investors who can afford to pay cash.
Well, I did look that one up, and I'm not even sure if I was reading the correct thing. Said VMAX International was a Chinese forklift company in Shanghai, headquartered in Shanghai, China.
Interesting.
Yeah, really. That's why I ask.
But, with the existing conditions, it's just another house
Yeah.
in
Okay.
the neighborhood.
Yeah, right. It
Yep.
really doesn't matter who owns it. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Is that it? Want to open it up to public testimony?
Certainly can.
Certainly. I'll give Mr. Mendency, do you want to ask if any?
Seeing none, you want to check the phones?
Okay. Good evening, Ms. Sherry. Do we have any callers for the Poteet variance?
There are no callers for the Poteet case at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, do we want to close it now to public testimony?
If you like, sir.
Yeah, that's fine. And did you want to give your,
And then she can go through the conditions.
I can definitely go through the conditions for you. Let's see. There we go. Okay, the standards for conditional use approval. No conditional use shall be approved by the board unless that it finds, 1, the conditional use complies with the standards of the district in which it's located and the standards applicable to that use. The existing house is a non-conforming use.
So it's a conforming use.
I'm sorry, correct. In this residential zone. However, the house structure does not comply with the minimum front and side yard setbacks for the zoning district. 2, the establishment, maintenance, and operation of the conditional use will not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, convenience, morals, order, or the general welfare. The construction of the proposed addition is subject to numerous county, state, and federal regulations intended to assure the public's health, safety, and welfare. Number 3, the conditional use will not be injurious to the use and the enjoyment of other properties in the immediate vicinity for the purposes already permitted, and will not substantially diminish or impair property values within the neighborhood. The current uses on the adjoining properties are residential. The proposed addition is for residential use as well. The proposed use at the proposed location will not have adverse effects above and beyond those inherently associated with the proposed use, irrespective of its location within the zoning district. This residential addition is expected to become an integral part of the existing residential neighborhood, like so many other additions to existing houses in the residential neighborhoods located within the RL district. Number 5. Adequate utilities, access road, drainage, or necessary facilities have been or are being provided. The permit review and inspection progress administered by the Department of Land Use and Growth Management will ensure that the adequate utilities, roads, access, and erosion controls will be provided. Adequate measures have been or will be taken to provide ingress and egress following a design that minimizes traffic congestion in the public streets. The existing house fronts on and has direct access onto Thurman Davis Lane. It's a county road. Number 7, the proposed conditional use is not contrary to the goals, objectives, and policies of the comprehensive plan. The property has already been developed for residential use. In Chapter 3 of the Comprehensive Plan, a growth management strategy establishes a vision for community design, which includes encouraging owners of existing structures to maintain and retrofit the buildings and grounds so they become attractive and energy efficient. Number 8, the conditional use in all other respects conforms to the applicable regulations of the district in which it is located, or the special requirements established for the specific conditional use in the ordinance. Now, Schedule 32.1 Development Standards specifies minimum front and side yard setbacks. A variance can be granted to reduce these dimensional requirements. Now, Chapter 51, Use Regulations and Standards, specifies a minimum of 10 feet between structures. The shed can be moved the minimum of 10 feet away from the house. And as we heard tonight, they're going to
Remove the shed.
correct.
We probably need to make that a condition to remove the shed.
Remove or move it, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and I've got the standards also for granting the variance. Okay. Except as provided for sections 24.3 and 24.4 and 24.5, the Board of Appeals shall not vary the regulations of this ordinance unless it makes the finding based upon evidence presented to it that, A, because of particular physical surroundings such as exceptional narrowness, shallowness, shape, size, shape, or topographical conditions of the property involved, strict enforcement of this ordinance will result in practical difficulty. The existing house was built in 1952, prior to the current setback regulations of the ZZO. The conditions creating the difficulties are not applicable generally to the other properties within the same zoning classification. Other properties within the same RL zone classification, when subdivided or constructed after 1974, have been subject to the zoning regulations, which require compliance with the minimum front and side yard setbacks. C, the purpose of the variance is not based exclusively on convenience, profit, or caprice. It is understood that any development necessary increases property value, and that alone shall not constitute an exclusive finding. The existing house has a non-conforming front and side yard setback. The applicant is requesting to construct a second-floor addition on top of the existing house. D, the alleged difficulty has not been created by the property owner or the property owner's predecessors in title. The existing dwelling was built in 1952 prior to the current setback regulations of our comprehensive zoning ordinance. E, the granting of the variance will not be detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to other properties or improvements in the neighborhood, and the character of the district will not be changed by the variance. The neighboring property owners have been notified of the variance request to provide them with an opportunity to speak on the matter. And F, the proposed variance will not substantially increase the congestion of the public streets or increase the danger of fire or endanger the public safety or substantially diminish or impair property values within the neighborhood. The proposed addition to the house will not increase the residential use of this property. And lastly, the variance complies with as nearly as possible with the spirit, intent, and purpose of the comprehensive plan. The property has already been developed for residential use. Chapter 3 of a growth management strategy of the comprehensive plan establishes a vision for community design, which includes encouraging owners of existing structures to maintain and retrofit the buildings and grounds so they can become attractive and energy efficient. And that concludes.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. Discussion?
I think it's taking an old house and fixing it up and makes it better for the neighborhood.
I would like to move the shed, remove it. I mean, he said he would, but I would like to make it a condition. Anything else?
No.
Yeah, I wish him the best of luck with this.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a project he's got going on there.
Substantial.
May I make a motion?
Yeah.
In matter of VAAP number 21-2508, having made a finding that the standards for granting a variance and the objective of section 24.3, schedule 32.1, and section 52.3 of the St. Mary's County Comprehensive Ordinance have been met, and I move to approve the variance with one condition, that the shed be removed.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. An order reflecting the board's decision will be prepared by staff and signed by the board within 60 days. 30-day period following from that date, the order is signed, during which any aggrieved party may appeal the board's decision to circuit court. The recording secretary will mail you a copy of the order when it has been signed. There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck.
Good luck to you. You got a job ahead of you.
That wasn't too bad.
What?
There you go.
You got a job ahead of you.
We'll be in touch, and if you have any questions waiting for the permit, let us know.
That's what makes my man.
Thank you. Stacy.
Bring us pictures when you're finished.
That's quite a job to do that.
Oh, I know. No, he's got a job.
Thank you.
What do we have, just the minutes?
We got two sets of things to approve, right?
The minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes?
Yes, I have.
Okay, I'm good with it. Could I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anything else? I'd like to wish Mr. Ikniowski a speedy recovery. I hope, I hope to see him at the next meeting,
Next meeting, the 27th?
the 27th.
27th, 4 critical area cases, so you can focus on your trees and in your impervious surface again.
Okay, we can do that.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, I'm ready for a motion.
Motion to adjourn, sir.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.